When you're a kid, you're told bullies grow out of it, that someday they'll regret it. Mine didn't. He kept living, hiding, thriving. Until one ordinary night on social media, I stumbled on his new name, his new life, and an arrest warrant waiting for him. And with one anonymous click, I ended years of silence and got paid to do it. Have you ever wondered what happened to your childhood bully? Stick around, because the story proves karma sometimes just needs a little nudge. Hit like, subscribe, and comment if you've ever imagined what justice would feel like. This is a story of how my tormentor finally paid his debt. I grew up in a small town where everyone knew everyone. Same bus routes, same lunch tables, same faces every year. And then there was him. Let's call him Derek. Derek was 2 grades ahead, but always seemed to be around. At recess, in the cafeteria, after school. He had that smirk bullies have, like he'd been born knowing other people's weak spots. For me, it started with small things, accidentally knocking my books from my arms, whispering my name wrong, making the other kids laugh. Then it escalated, shoving me into lockers, cornering me at the bus stop, tearing my homework. I remember the smell of the hallways, pencil shavings and floor wax, and the way my heart would speed up when I saw his sneakers appear around the corner. It wasn't just physical, it was psychological. He'd look at me and say, "You'll never do anything about it." And I believe him. Adults shrugged it off. Boys will be boys. My parents told me to ignore him. But when you're 11 and scared, ignoring feels impossible. Years passed. Derek eventually left the school. I stayed. I learned to keep my head down. But the memories were still there. The smell of his cologne at the skating rink. The sound of his laugh echoing down hallways. The shame of feeling small. We lose track of our bullies. We tell ourselves they're gone. But the part of you they built, the quiet, watchful part, stays. I grew up, went to college, built a life. But sometimes, even as an adult, I think of Derek and wonder if he remembered me, if he felt any guilt. Probably not. One night, scrolling through Facebook, half bored, half nostalgic, I see a face. Older, a little heavier, but unmistakably him. Derek, except his last name was different. His profile picture, him in what looked like a visiting cell, gray backdrop, telephone on the wall, that dull institutional lighting you see in prison documentaries. My stomach did that drop, the same one from childhood. But then came something else. Curiosity. Why the name change? Why the jailhouse pic? I started digging, clicking through old comments, tag photos. Nothing obvious. So I typed his original name into my county's online arrest warrant registry. And there it was, an active warrant. Same birth date. Same man. Wanted. Hiding under an alias. Sensory details. The glow of the laptop screen at midnight. The way the cursor blinked like a heartbeat. The quiet hum of the fridge as you realize you're holding your breath. For a long moment, I just sat there, staring. This was my childhood bully. The guy who said, I'd never do anything about it. And here he was, wanted by the law, living under a false name, bold enough to post his own picture from a jail cell. My mind flashed back to him, cornering me at the bus stop, to the scrape on my knee from being shoved. I heard his voice, "You'll never do anything about it." And something in me shifted. I wasn't 11 anymore. I wasn't powerless. My county had an anonymous online reporting system. If you tipped them off and it led to an arrest, you even got a reward. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. This wasn't petty. This was revenge for a shove decades ago. This was a wanted man hiding in plain sight. Reporting him wasn't just legal, it was right. I filled out the form. Heart hammering. Step by step. His alias. His original name. The link to his profile. I attached a screenshot of the warrant listing. I hit submit. A confirmation number popped up. Just digits on a screen, but it felt like a key. I copied it, saved it. My hands were trembling. Then came the waiting. Days turned to weeks. I checked the online system obsessively. I told no one, not friends, not family. Outwardly, life was normal. Inside, I felt like a wire pulled taut. And then, update. Arrest made. The warrant had been executed. The man under an alias had been caught. All because I followed a hunch. I walked outside that night. The air was cool. The stars were out. I took a deep breath. The first real one in a long time. Nobody knew, but I knew. A few weeks later, I submitted my confirmation number to the county's reward office. Quietly, an envelope came. Inside, a check for $1,000. Money wasn't the point, but holding that check felt symbolic. This was the first time anything tied to Derek ended in my favor. The kid who used to steal my lunch money had now, indirectly, paid me back. Later I learned, piecing together news articles, that Derek's crimes weren't small. Fraud, assault, things far worse than schoolyard bullying. He hadn't changed. He'd just gotten older. Looking back, it makes sense. That same entitlement, that same smirk. He'd built a life on thinking he could get away with things. Until one night, one anonymous report tipped the scale. Sometimes I think about telling people. About posting. Remember Derek? Guess who got him arrested? But I don't. Partly because the program is anonymous. Partly because the best part is knowing he has no idea who turned him in. I imagine him sitting there, wondering who betrayed him. Maybe blaming old friends. Maybe trusting no one. The irony is delicious. The man who thrived on making others feel powerless is now behind bars, powerless himself. And he doesn't even know I had a hand in it. When I think of that scared kid at the bus stop, and then think of me now, an adult, confident enough to click submit, that's the real revenge. Not the check. Not even the arrest. It's a reversal of power. Derek said I'd never do anything about it. He was wrong. I did something about it. Quietly, legally, and effectively. I guess you could say his debt has been paid. And mine too. Because sometimes justice isn't about shouting from the rooftops. Sometimes it's about knowing you finally stood up, even if it took years. Outro call to action. 15 to 25 seconds. What would you do if you saw your childhood bully on the wrong side of the law? Would you report them? Have you ever gotten quiet justice? Tell me in the comments. And if you believe in karma catching up, sometimes a little help. Hit like, subscribe, and stick around for more true revenge stories that prove the past doesn't always stay in the past. Why this script hooks 9 out of 10 listeners. Clear emotional arc. Bullied child, powerless teen, curious adult, decisive reporter, satisfied narrator. Vivid antagonist. Derek isn't just bad. He's a living, breathing threat with a smirk and sneakers you recognize. Sensory detail. The smell of hallways. The glow of the laptop. The weight of the envelope. Moral framing. This isn't petty revenge. It's justice and closure.